GP Mac when the GP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread.
Fear
Well,
the dread. What's
it
happening?
wasn't a most exciting race on there, but I did notice. Do you ever say tip with Marquez? By the way, I don't know if anybody's mentioned this before. When he leans and his lean angle gets to be about 65, that's when he's ready to go, ready to crash.
I think that's kind of everybody at 65
Yeah,
degrees is
yeah.
probably ready to crash. Um, yeah, so look,
I mean, he gets away with it a lot, way more than anybody else. But when he's
I don't
even
know, man. I don't know. I think Top Rack is that new king of fucking the saves. Like you saw it this
oh yeah,
weekend, you know. But anyway, Mark's crash today, Sunday, was like talk about making proper shit of a fucking bike. Like I was just like dollar bills going fucking through the roof. There, it's like ding, 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 ding,
you can see him flying off. You know what I mean?
yeah, sacks of gold. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, um, yeah. But look, I suppose um, to get onto it, like there's been obviously Pecco has kind of turned around and said something very. I found funny. Said he turned around and he said, last year I wasn't happy with the DNA of the bike and all of this and whatever, right? And he's like, and Mark was delighted with GP25, right? And he's like, now this year, Mark is in the exact same position that I am in. And I just thought, that's a real fucking sneaky little, well, not a sneaky little thing to say, but it's kind of like, okay,
Tongue in
kind of
cheek.
understand why Mark is struggling as well. Is that the bike isn't there for him? Do you know what I mean? Either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then he's turned look at Alex
Oh,
Marquez,
okay.
who literally, to be fair, blitzed everyone this weekend. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And now Alex does have some new parts on the bike, which the lads, which only himself and Mark have. Um, Pecco doesn't have it, and Digi doesn't have it, but they're going to be running them tomorrow, Monday, or today, if you're watching it, in the Jerez test. So, do find it pretty interesting.
Question. I know a lot of people probably thinking the same thing. Why can't he run like Digi's bike seems to be on par and Alex's bike seems to be on par. Why can't Marquez just jump on it? Mark Marquez
What you
go
mean?
back. Why can't they go back to what was working?
They
Like,
can, but I suppose that's the beauty of the testing, right? Is like, or sorry, of this year, especially, is that there's no change in engine spec, right? So the engine spec is the same. Now they could be running a 24 engine in a 25 chassis,
mm-hmm.
or they could be running a 25. So that's the bit I don't know what is the actual problem with Mark, but it's not working now, and maybe the potential of the 26 is that much better that they're all trying to say, okay, if I can just get this to work, then we'll be like you look at it. Seki is what 44 points clear of him.
Yeah.
So it's still in a if I was Marquez, it's still in the manageable phase. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
saying that, he hasn't had much luck in races. Do you know what I mean? In actual Grand Prix races, yes, sprint races is a separate thing. But yeah, it's definitely a worry, and the crashing and the no feel and all of this. I wonder how much that will play into the head games too. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh fuck, if we're going wrong on a bike where we had the formula perfect, how confident am I now going into 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 a new regulations where no one knows the formula? Do you know what I mean? Do I
Yeah.
really want to commit myself to this? Which I always find
Yeah,
a
but where's he
really
gonna go? Where's he gonna go that has a better engineering department than Ducati?
Yeah, but my point here is like, where is he going to? When is he going to say, "Do I actually fucking need this?" Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you mean just out altogether?
Yeah, like, is this the start of fucking Honda all over again? Like, do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's
We
the
had,
last thing he needs, right?
do you know what I mean? Like, we had a race-winning bike, we went to shit. Oh God, look what's happening now to Ducati, right? It's
Right.
like what? Like, they haven't
But
been on the podium.
it's not the same situation as Honda had. Jesus Christ,
I
Honda
would
had problems all over the place.
I would have said that too, Jake, until I saw like Digi and thing. All right, like
They're
we,
not showing it now. They didn't. They was. I was reading an article. They're upset because the Honda didn't make any progress over the summer, over the winter.
I think it has. Fucking hell, Jesus Christ, the brakes on the Honda now are fucking superb, like superb.
They made a jump, right? But that was last
Yeah,
year. But they didn't make any jump from last year. They didn't make another where
I don't
everybody
know,
goes.
like this weekend is the first weekend that Zarco has turned up to a race weekend. Do you know what I mean? Luca Marini is stuck in the 15th to 10th place sort of realm. Mir was goose this weekend for his penalty. He got a double long lap. You know,
Right.
for me, I don't know. Like, I was trying to have a look at the when they were showing on the race, Quadraro v Mir, and I was just trying to see who did anyone have any better pace and whatever, and they fucking didn't. Neither of them had really good pace. Do you know what I mean? Um, I think Honda are okay, but for me, when I'm looking at Ducati, what's going on with Ducati, like, what's his name? Davide came out, and Davide Tardazzi came out and he said, you know, we're not in a crisis. So it's like, I'm like, well, Davide, you're in a fucking crisis now, kid. Do you know what I mean? You're like the Lenovo team, another fucking doubles, not no score. Do you know what I mean? Falling back down through the fucking championships. There's something fundamentally wrong on both sides of it. Like Mark's injury is one thing, right? But
Right.
his feel with the bike is gone, and that's not all injury. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And Pecco's fucking checked out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking at it and I'm going, you know, what the fuck is going on here? You know, like, Tardazzi saying we're not in a crisis. I'm like, you are in a fucking crisis now. Do you know what I mean? You were the pinnacle team to be within. Do you know what I mean? Across the way now, people are looking and saying, well, Aprilia isn't a bad option too. Do you know what I mean? Where go back 2 years ago, it was like Ducati. Like, I'll take the fucking
Well,
bums Ducati. Like,
I don't think they're in a crisis. They're not dominating like they used to be. And on top of that, what kind of makes it a crisis, it's a borderline crisis, is the Aprilia did make a big jump. Okay, and
true,
that's
but
what
they can't. But they can't figure out what's wrong with the bike. Like, the bike won today in Alex's hands, right?
Yeah.
Remove Alex, but
Did you?
remove Alex as in, like, Alex has sweetheart feelings with Jerez, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like from last year. So I'm kind of like, remove those sweetheart feelings a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, was their pace actually only third or fourth today? Do you know what I mean? Even Mark and them, do you know what I mean? Like, remove Alex's, like you saw it on Friday, Alex was like half a second faster than everyone, or 0.3 of a second, or whatever it was. Like, that around Jerez alone is half a second to 0.6 of a second on another circuit, right? Because Jerez is fucking, like, I was expecting everyone to be within a second in Jerez, right? And
Right.
I don't know, like, I'm very worried about what's going on in Ducati, because they seem to have lost the DNA of the bike. Like, the DNA of that bike was that bike was always planted. You could turn it in, you could make it do whatever the fuck you wanted to do, even when it didn't want to do it, right?
Right.
And now you can see Pecco, he's understeering with the fucking bike. Mark is having to use the rear of the bike more to steer the
Right.
bike. And you're like going, okay, well, if Mark is using the rear of the bike more to steer it than he was using, then he's going to fuck up his rear tire towards the end of the race. And that's going to kill Mark's strategy of coming on strong towards the end of the races because he's good at saving the tire. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sitting there and I'm going, they're in trouble. They're in serious trouble. And yes, we're going to have riders perform on individual tracks. Like, we haven't seen Alex Marquez realistically much this season. Do you know what I mean? He's here now. The same as we haven't seen Zarco on the Honda. He's here now. Do you know what I mean? Will he be there next week? Like, put your hand on your heart and swear to the Bible, saying, "Yeah, I do. I genuinely do believe he will be." And I think we would both struggle to say, "Yeah, we believe that this is the start of it for Zarco, and that this is definitely the start of it for Alex Marquez," because they've been so inconsistent, I suppose, this year. I do think it's funny because in the last podcast, I think we said, neither of them are shining like diamonds in goats' asses. And the next race, then they come along and go, "Hey, motherfuckers, here we are." You know what I mean? So, anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Look, the race then when it got underway, you could sense that this was going to be between Bezzecchi and Alex Marquez from the very start. Maybe a little bit of a Digi popped in there for good luck.
KTM seemed to be falling by the wayside.
KTM is, yeah, they're in a big trouble, and like when you look at,
I wonder if Alex is sitting there going, "Shit, I wouldn't," what kind of mistake did I make?
Yeah, but then the other side of the coin, like is he?
He's definitely signed for them, right?
He's definitely signed for them, yeah. But like, look, I suppose I think the writing was always on the wall with him that the only way that he was ever going to get into the Ducati factory team is if Marc retired.
Okay.
Because they're going to want someone younger, which is a Costa and that, do you know what I mean? So for me, he always had a little bit of stuff stacked against him. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So then you look at it, you're like, I could possibly stay here, but then they don't know what's happening with Gresini, and no one does, and it's very, very weird. The relationship, I was told, was breaking down. Now with Alex getting all of these experimental parts tells me a little bit differently. Then with Fermin Aldeguer also signing to VR46, you'd be like, okay, well, VR46 are going to be the prime team. And then you again, let's go back to the parts are with Gresini, and you're like, well, why is that? Do you know what I mean? Why, if you're going to dump out a team, why are you giving them parts? And yeah, I just find it very interesting. But then the other thing I was looking at was like, if you look at next year, right, there's only actually 3 riders that are on the current grid that are going to be testing the 850cc bike with the correct Pirelli tires next year. So one is Toprak, right? He's going to be testing it because he's signed for next year. The other is Marco Bezzecchi because he's already signed for next year with Aprilia. And the other is Marc Marquez. And that is on the assumption that he has already signed for Ducati for next year.
Yeah.
A lot of rumors say that he has, and he's done a 1+1. And a lot of rumors are saying that he's done 2 years, but no one really knows yet.
I don't get the reasoning behind the cloak and dagger bit.
I suppose, look, it's once Pecco knows, or once Pecco announces where he's going, it's the linchpin to the lot of it.
Yeah, but when Pecco's they're always, they know he's already signed. So what's the point?
I know that, but look, I suppose there's still a couple of seats left. Do you know what I mean? Like you look at it, it kind of made me laugh this week when I read Alex Rins's comments, and he was like, "I'm very sad about being told that I will not be continuing with the Yamaha MotoGP factory team." I was like, realistically, like, how far in a fucking bubble are you? Like, do you know what I mean? Like genuinely, like genuinely, you know, I'm like what? And then like the key part of this though that I took out of it, right, out of his statement, was when he said we've already, or when Maro said we've signed a second rider. So that means they've already signed the first one too,
Right.
which is Jorge Martin. And then we have Aya Agora then going to the factory Yamaha team. So that's what that makeup will look like. So if you look at it,
Martin's probably kicking himself in the ass, or he should be, for jumping off
well,
the approach.
he's a victim of his own self.
Yeah, selfishness. Yeah,
you know, and like really is a victim of his own self. You know, like
and he should come off that bike and go, "What do I have? What's with this thing?" You know what I mean? You come off the plane and go, "What the hell did I get myself into?"
Did you mean this is a 650? That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, yeah. So saying that, like, look, I suppose it's all about money and it's all about money. Well, look, I suppose, look, it's all about how he conducted himself too. And while Aprilia seemed to be fairly forgiving, I don't think they're actually were that forgiving. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of getting a bit of the old swagger now. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got a really good bike, and now you want to be with us. Do you know what I mean? We gave you the opportunity, and you wanted to leave us for a shit bike. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you know what you do now? You go find another fucking one. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 2 pound sand.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I like, for me, when I look at it, you know, at the end of the day, he had a contract, he had this, that, and the other. I genuinely think, all right, though, that he was spooked by the bike.
That's not a reason. Come on.
I don't know. Like, anytime you get on a fucking motorbike, and look, think about this of your own free will. You have a bike, right?
Yeah.
Or multiple bikes. And every time you go out in this fucking bike, something fucking happens here, right? Whether you get a fucking tank slapper, whether you get the fucking heebie-jeebies, whether you get fucking, you have an accident, right?
Right.
You'll be fucking slow to pick that bike. Do you know what I mean? You might love riding it, but shit fucking happens on it. Yeah. And I just think with it, he just got a fucking mental block. Because remember, from near enough day dot that he got on that bike, he hurt himself every fucking time, like every time. So I think is that now. I also think he's after losing a massive amount of weight. I don't know if you saw that. He looks really fucking skinny and bony now. Like, whereas before he had a bit of. So I don't know. Is he overtraining as well and stuff like that?
Who's the heaviest rider in MotoGP?
I would think Toprak.
It is very good, Toprak. That'll come back to bite him, I bet. With he's the tallest.
I think so. I think Toprak is always like on. Like, it's very hard to measure Toprak even right now, right? Because the bike is so bad. You can't even say whether he's adapting well or not. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to put him in there against like Quartararo and all of this, and like, fucking hard, like, do you know what I mean? Because the bike is fucking terrible from one, and I have a sneaky suspicion that not one of those Yamahas are the same as each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense, but then it's very, very hard to correlate a rider's right a rider's performance. Do you know what I mean? Because the bike is fucking different, and like look at today. Like technically, someone and probably someone is out there going, "Well, the only reason that Alex won today is because he had all those new parts." Don't know. Do you know what I mean? Or is it just Alex likes fucking Jarret and it's one of those circuits? And like I remember it from the days when I was racing, there was just circuits you got on with, right? You just naturally float. Maybe this is what like I would be interested to see in a couple of weeks' time at Le Mans. Is Alex up there fighting without issue or problem? Do you know what I mean? Is this the kickstart to his season that he wants, you know, or needs? Could possibly be, could possibly not be. Brad Binder is in a serious amount of trouble, though. I'm telling you that now, like, and this is what this year is going to be unique in my view, right?
I thought he was going to turn out well. To be honest with you, that's surprising. I mean, from the beginning, he looked like he had what it took.
Listen. I don't think there's another rider out there that has the fucking grit and determination of Brad Binder, right? But he's one of those fellas that something always fucking happens. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's like he'll win the fucking lotto, only to discover that he never actually played it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That is the way. The way.
It would break a rock if it had a steering wheel, it had handlebars attached to it. You know, no matter what's on, he's always the bike's always breaking on him.
Yeah. Now, Doug saying that, lovely guy, great rider, never had any negative comments to say about it. He's just unlucky. But I also think KTM now are grown impatient with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's had a terrible season this season. Last season wasn't great either. Do you know what I mean? So I'm wondering, like, in myself, or like KTM going to just go bye-bye, you know? Like, we could see a massive amount of riders this year exit. We could, like, see 4.
Yeah.
No, which is big from a field of 20, what is it, 22? 20, 18, 20, I don't know. It's for me, it's a big amount to go, and it's like a lot of changing in the guards. So like, I think Rins will struggle to find somewhere. I think Binder will struggle to find somewhere. You have possibly Mir, maybe.
I can see throwing Binder on a superbike.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a good few MotoGP riders on Morbidelli. You know, like there's a question to say who would go better on the Aprilia, Mir or Binder. Do you know what I mean? Or would you put Bulega on that Trackhouse Aprilia? Do you know what I mean? There's so many options there. It's crazy, and you know there is a lot of riders coming up that we wanted. I still haven't heard anything on the LCR situation.
I think that Binder though would make a great addition to the Honda Superbike because it's such a pig. The way he rides, he wrestles the bike.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they need to go back to basics on that fucking that World Superbike one.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, is that fucking bike haunted from day dot? Like, do you know what I mean?
They said it as an inherent handling problem. When you say inherent,
it's not even a handling problem. You ask John McGuinness, the TT racer, or Guy Martin, the TT racer, they believe that fucking bike was haunted from day dot. Like, you know, that haunted, yeah. Like, yeah, fucking John McGuinness ended up on the golf course on the in the Northwest 200, snapped his leg, box full of neutrals. Guy Martin a couple of weeks later went to the Northwest 200 or to the Isle of Man TT, box full of neutrals as he came off the fucking thing. Like, do you know what I mean? That's like, so for me, I'm looking at it, I was like,
when they were testing that bike, you know, they test bikes against other bikes, and you know, magazines, they couldn't get it through without the thing breaking. Like it couldn't finish the test without blowing up or overheating.
Yeah, look, it is what it is, but I suppose, you know, throughout the day, it'll be that. Digi, really interesting to see what's going to happen for him next season, where he's going to go, and what is even going to happen this season. Do you know what I mean? Like he's outshining more people than I thought he would. Then the other side of it, like I was looking at Pecco and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on there. Like you saw him in the wet 2 seconds off, and in qualifying, but also in the race, like when Mark passed him, like Mark pulled 3 seconds nearly instantly on him, right?
Right.
And I just like to myself, I was like, does this guy not want to push it to the limits? Like, has he checked out of the 2026 season already? Has he just gone to know something? Now, partly this could be, Jake, it could be that Ducati has said, we're not going to develop the bike anymore for you. You know, you're leaving. We're not going to develop it. We're not going to give you any insights. We're not. That has the cutoff, let's just call it change already kicked in there, and he's like, well, fine, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to mosey around. I have my contract. I'm sorted. I'm fine. I've nothing really to worry about. So I don't know
at this point.
Huh?
He's a has been. I mean, the factory. I look at the factory Ducati team as a one bike team.
Oh yeah. It's now geared around Mark fully. Like, you know what I mean? And I suppose we will touch on this. So Mark's winning of the sprint race, and he didn't get a penalty. Zarco was very, very cross about it, because Zarco was like, well, you've passed the pit lane entry, and you went to the last corner and you crashed, and then you came across the track and across the thing. Now, there was at the start of the weekend where they did notify the riders of the entries and the exits and what lines you can and cannot cross. The lines that Mark on the grass and all of that he crossed were not part of that steward's thing. So therefore, there was no ruling on it. But saying that, that's what I think the major issue of the penalty became from all of the announcers saying you can't do that, but there was nothing actually in the regulations to say you couldn't do it or you can't do it. I think there fucking will be now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think there will be now. So, like, I think it was really good thinking from Mark. But saying that, then the other side of it, you know, you could interpret what the steward said in many, many different ways. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was more on the fact that the stewards left it a little bit ambiguous, that where do you enter the pits and where do you exit the pit. So like they were very, very specific on the exit of the pit lane, that you can't cross the white line on the right hand side as you're leaving the pit lane. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
But they never said anything about on the pit entry. You know? So look,
a loophole.
There's a loophole. Like there is rules and regulations around there is rules and regulations in Formula 1 about the pit lane, that if you miss the pit lane exit and you actually cross the white line within the pit lane, so it's very specific. So if you cross the white line within the pit lane, so as you come into the pits, there's two white lines in the side of it designating the start of the pit lane. So if you cross either one of those white lines, you're done. Do you know what I mean? So in Mark's case, he would have come back across the grass after the last turn and crossed that very white line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And therefore, then he would have been done. But this time he wasn't. I think he will be in, like, because like a load of announcers were like, "Oh, it's a penalty, has to be a penalty for Marquez," and then they were commentating the rest of the race, like Marc Marquez racing on the road, but will he actually keep it after? I don't really see the big deal in this. It's one of, in my view, that was a wet race where anything could happen. Do you know what I mean? And he talked quickly. He got up. He got the bike into the pit lane, and he did it. Very rare. I'll back Marc Marquez on an ambiguous thing, but that one for me wasn't necessarily a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Despite what others are saying. Yeah. So then look. Toprak took out Lorenzo Savadori. Don't know, did you see that in the sprint? Just made complete fucking balls of it. Like, he got a penalty for it. But again, I think Jerez, it didn't do itself any, like, again, if you look at Jerez versus Phillip Island, right? Phillip Island is normally an action-packed race with incidents and accidents and all of this. Jerez wasn't that entertaining.
Right. Yes.
But yet they take fucking one of the most entertaining ones. I kind of doesn't really fathom. I can't really fathom it. But anyway, look, I thought it was a decent race. Didn't think it was exactly electrifying. But look, it's we have racing back. It's been a long time. We have Le Mans now again in 2 weeks' time, 10th of May, is it? Yeah, I think 10th of May. So it should be good, and the races are going to come thick and fast at us then while we're in Europe. So next couple of races, but I would think in the next month we're going to know the whole rider situation, where people are, what people are doing, who's in, who's out.
They sure shit better. Jesus Christ.
But you see, it's just there's one or two linchpins to all of this. So like if Martin says he's leaving Aprilia, then we know Aprilia. But I don't even think that's the biggest one. I think it's Pecco. If Pecco announces he's going to Aprilia, then everyone knows that Martin is out. So the Yamaha move is definitely on. If there's a free seat in Ducati, we all know that Acosta's going there. And I don't really know genuinely after that. I don't genuinely know, does anyone actually care? Like after those names move seats, does any major headlines come from that? That?
I don't know. This whole thing's going to be a wash. You see, it's 3 seconds slower. It's going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah, but okay. Am I a major fan of it? No, but what I am a major fan is that this is going to cause a whole new set of problems for those engineers to fix and solve and stuff. So I think it's asking different questions now of the engineers. Do you know what I mean? Which is good, because let's be fair. The engines that we've had and the formula that we've had for now, it's kind of getting stale. Do you know what I mean? In the way of what's the next innovation to come out of MotoGP for the road? I'm struggling to think of it. Like, is you know what I mean?
You're taking tech away. So when you
take tech away, right? You also you inspire engineers to come up with other solutions that the rule makers haven't.
That's not necessarily the truth, too.
It is. Look at Formula One.
One engineer is always going to be better than the other, and they're never going to be able to stop the other engineer. Put in place. That's not true.
It's 100% true. Look at Formula One. It's a prime example of it. Did you see what they did with the engines this year and how they were able to manage the squish in the engine? That the ratio was supposed to be 16.1, but they were actually able to get the ratio up to 18.1.
No, how do they the compression ratio?
Yep.
How?
So the compression ratio had to be 16.1 when they measured it, but in the rules and regulations, the testing for that happened at normal temperature. So they made the piston in such a way that it can expand and cause the compression ratio to go up. It's a massive, massive thing. And 2 engine manufacturers have got it, and they reckon it's worth 40, 50 horsepower. So, those are the things that I'm talking about that you can figure. Like, these guys are fucking brilliant brains, right? So I'll send you a link to what exactly that they did, and you will actually just sit down and go, the rule makers are a bunch of fucking idiots for letting that happen.
Well, I don't know how the hell. My thing is, I don't know how the hell to get around the cap on the RPMs.
Well, there's always but that's it. Like, and this is where I'm not saying the rules are the way they'll find it is right. Like, let's go back to Ferrari a few years ago when they were measuring the fuel rail, right? They decided they were putting extra oil into it, and what they were using then was that they were burning extra oil, say, on the overrun, right? So the fuel was coming down, but they were still getting enriched fucking. It was the fuel flow was still staying the same. Or then there was another one where they found where the meter wouldn't measure for a millisecond, and they were squirting a drop in. There was all of these fucking things that they were doing. It was brilliant, 100%. Like, and I mean, Jake, it took like fucking 3 or 4 tenths of a second off the engine when they got caught, and it was so secretive what they did, right? And the reason that it was fucking kept a secret, so it was Ferrari did it, right? And like their pace literally dropped off in the car overnight. They got caught. The pace dropped off. Only one other team kind of tweaked to what they were doing to lead to the investigation. Then the results of the investigation were kept private. And the reason they were kept fucking private is not because Ferrari and this, that, and the other. Is because if the FIA let out what they were doing, they already knew they couldn't fully monitor it. So then every team would do it. So that's why the fucking thing was kept. It's crazy. I'll send you on the link to it, and you can read it. It's fucking brilliant. And I'll send you on to the link to this current year's one, what they're doing, and they had to change the rules on how to measure it and all of this stuff. It was absolutely fucking brilliant in the way these things, and I think that's what's going to happen within the 850s. Like we know, for example, we know they were farming out aerodynamics to Formula One teams.
Right.
I don't see it too much longer that they're farming out engines as well and engine buildings, because it's going to get so fucking complex with the 850s.
I hope so.
So yeah, so I think there's going to be an awful lot of development there. Anyway, but look, that's just me. I suppose on that bombshell, Jakey Poo, we'll wrap it up there for this week. We will be back again next week to say hello again. And so we have only 2 more weeks to race week. And we have my personal favorite couple of weeks coming up as well, which is
next week. We don't have a race, but we have a race 2 weeks.
2 weeks time, yeah. I think, is it next week is the Northwest, or 2 weeks time is the Northwest 200?
Ah, okay.
And then we have the Isle of Man, which is like, yeah, what is it called? Real men's racing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And the men were men and the sheep were scared.
Well, that too, but you know the way. What is it? I think Guy Martin said it best. When people were giving out about the like, oh, going over to the Isle of Man, you must be crazy, you must think Joe should be banned because it's so dangerous and all this. And it's like, just go home and cut the grass and leave us to our bit. It's just like, go fuck off, like, do you know what I mean? But anyway, I suppose on that bombshell, we'll wrap it up there for this week. And we'll see everyone again